Let's talk about the concept of reference group. Reference group is an aspirational group to which we compare ourselves with in terms of our achievement, our ambition, in role performance. So it is basically, in a normative term, a standard of comparison. We compare ourselves with that group and with that group member, and we evaluate our performance whether it is right or wrong. So we may compare with the membership group in which we are part of and with the non-membership group to which we are not part of it, but we want to become like that. So here the concept of relative deprivation came into place. Relative term always exists where we may compare with others, and deprivation means we didn't have anything, we feel deprived in term of certain aspects. So relative deprivation means a membership group compare with the non-membership group, and where the and in term of the subjective terms, in term of the subjective things such as happiness. Subjective term is with we which we are not quantify. It is a qualitative terms. We didn't quantify them. So these are the subjective things such as the happiness and all. So if we may compare ourselves with the non-membership group in terms of the subjective things, it is known as the relative deprivation. Let's understand with an example. Let's say that I am a Navy personnel who is married and who is on duty. So I feel deprived that I didn't have any time to spend with my family and or with my wife. So I compare myself with a civilian who is married. So membership group for me is the Navy personnel who is married, and non-membership group, which is act as reference group for me, is the civilian who is married. So I feel deprived in compare with the civilian who is married. So this is it, and let's talk about the other concept, which is the anticipatory socialization. Anticipatory socialization, again, it is in context of the non-membership group. Means in this we socialize ourselves to become a member of that non-membership group. We socialize ourselves to anticipate the member of that group. Again, let's understand with an example set. Let's say that I'm a person who is very good in his physical strength, mainly who is very hardworking and who wants to become athletics player. Let's say that. So membership group for me is the person who is physically fit and who wants and who is preparing for upcoming let's say for inter-college competition in athletics activity. So the non-membership group for me is the person who is a very good athletics player and who is represent his or her country on the international platform. So in order to become part of that group, I follow the diet, I follow the physical exercise, I follow the everything which that group member, the international players, did or does in everyday life. So I socialize myself in such a manner that I become part of that group. But this concept has a dysfunction also. if let's say that I become a part of a non-membership group and I'm part of a membership group for a time being, so in order to socialize myself with the non-membership group, I detach myself with existing social group in which I part of. So I detach myself from this group, which is a membership group for me, and I associated myself with the I socialize myself with the non-membership group. So I detach myself from membership group and associated. In order to associate myself with the non-membership group, I socialize myself. Anticipated socialization. And here is the non-membership group. So I am at the periphery of both the group. Neither I am part of that membership group and nor part of that non-membership group. So I am at the periphery of both the boundaries. So this is known as a marginal man. I'm at the margin of both the groups. I don't part of both the groups. So a marginal person, a marginal man, always detach himself with the existential social group which he part of and associated himself with the non-membership group. We can understand this concept with an example. Let's say that I'm from a lower class. Let's say I belong to SC or ST. So in order to associate myself with the higher class, I acquire very good education from the college, and I did my PhD and all. So in order to become like that, I follow the strict routine which the higher class groups such as Brahmin have. I follow the vegetarian diet. I do visit temple very oftenly. I remember certain sloks and certain mantras. So in order to become part of that Brahmin group, I socialized myself in such a manner that I become part of. I do look like part of that group. But the Brahmins didn't expect me to become part of that group. They didn't accept me. Sorry. They didn't accept me as part of that group. They didn't see me as an insider who belongs to that group, that Brahmins group. So what happened? That I detached myself with my existential group, which is the group of SCs and STs. I dissociated myself with them and associated myself with the Brahmins. But I'm neither part of SC and ST now nor the Brahmins. So a marginal man is more vulnerable and more helpless in compared to the person who is part of both the group, either the membership or the non-membership group. So the marginal man concept is this. One more aspect is we can say that the reference group acts as a role model for us. But there is a difference between role model and the reference group. If we want to become like our role model, then we always identify ourselves with one or few role performance with the role model. But if we become a part of the reference group, then we identify ourselves with more or all role performance of that reference group member. So in role model, we identify ourselves with one or few role performance, but with the membership reference group, we identify ourselves with the all role performance. So it is more wider. in compared to the role model. And the last concept is the type of reference group. So type of reference group is the positive reference group and the negative reference group. Positive reference group means we wants to become a part of that group. We want that we acquire certain qualities which this group have, and we evaluate ourselves that with this group, am I doing wrong or am I doing right. And negative reference group means the group which we want to avoid.